everyone. Welcome to my live stream. My name is Denise Hutchins and I'm broadcasting to you from Studio Mikarts. It's Friday, which means it's time for Chibi Friday and we're going to finish up Chibi Ahri. Yay! There's really hardly anything left to do, so I'm also going to work on another project during this 2-hour stream. Before I get started, I just want to announce my charity of the month. It is Vegan Outreach, and they help people transition to veganism through just handing out leaflets or having cooking challenges, really fun stuff, and that's something that's really important to me, to make it fun and not make it something that somebody has to do because nobody wants to do it. So that's our charity of the month. Oh, Wolf is here. Hello, Wolf. Hello, how are you? I'm so glad that you're here at the very beginning because there's hardly anything left to do. So this Chibi Ahri is going to be done very, very, very quickly. So as far as the charity goes, nobody has to do anything other than watch my stream because I make a donation at the end of the month based on the unique viewers count. So I hope everybody will bring their friends. We've still got, I don't know, a little less than half of the month left to go. So, yay! All right, let's get started. Wolf, how are you? I don't know if I asked. Let me get a nice drink of my mineral water real quick. Hope you're doing well. Are you looking forward to the weekend? I am. I've been so busy. I mean, it's busy in a good way. Ever since I started this new work schedule for 2024, I'm always the perfect amount of busy, which means by the end of the day I'm exhausted, but I'm totally recharged by the next day. So by the weekend, I'm always like, thank God it's the weekend. So, looking forward to the weekend. But it's not like I'm not enjoying what I'm doing. Totally enjoying it, but it takes a lot of mental and physical effort to do all the things that I do. So we did the eyes last time, I remember that. We added some nice, subtle, it doesn't want to autofocus this close. Let me see if I press the button, will it work? Yay! We added some nice, subtle, additional colors with the colored pencils, but there's still plenty of other, I love it when it autofocuses, but I can't trust it. I try to remember to do it on my own, but I didn't need to press the button that time. Oh! It seems like it's the same over there for you. For me, I love it when it's rainy, but the sun has come out over here, so it seems like it's probably the same over there where you are. I assume that's what you mean. Why are you particularly happy for it? Just because you prefer the sunshine and it's nice to have that little bit of warmer light? Or is it like you can go out and do stuff? Because I know a lot of people here especially, unless they're winter sports people, they love it when it's snowing here. If it's winter sports, it's pretty big around here. But everybody here is like, yes, I can finally get out on the trails or whatever. So, I thought so. Oh, yeah. That is something even me with my aversion to the sun, I do really appreciate not having to dress the pups up in all of their warm and protective gear and not have to wipe them down after we're done with our walk and stuff. So I get that. I totally get that. It is nice. I just have to, but I have to put protection on myself, so I have to wear my sun gloves. That's funny. I see. Yeah, it is. It's like, for me, I can't win either way, because I either have to protect the puppies and wipe them down, or I have to protect myself, but there's no wiping down at least. It is faster getting ready for sunny weather for a walk than for rainy or snowy. And sometimes I just don't go. I'm like, this is going to be so wet that I don't want to deal with it. Even though the puppies, they don't care. They're like, yes, we'll go out in any kind of weather. We'll go out in a thunderstorm. No, they won't go. That's the one thing they won't go. Now that I said that, nah. Thunderstorm, they run back inside. Okay, I'm thinking about what colors I want to add next. I definitely want to add some gray, little fine lines to the fur. But also I'm looking at the pink of the mouth. Oh, that reminds me. I want to bring up the reference image. Let me adjust my setup here on my secondary monitor. Ah, there we go. That's much better. Ah, yeah. It's so dreamy. It's so dreamy. Hearing it. I love when it's so rainy. Even though we live in a desert here. I mean, it's technically a desert. To me, desert is like the Mojave Desert, where I grew up near there during my youngest years. That's a desert. But this is technically climatically. Anyway, technically this is a desert here too. But we do get some days with like rain so hard that you can hear it on the roof. And it just, that's the best. I love it so much. Okay, this pink tongue-y. We need a little bit more shadow, I think. So I don't want to just do pink though, because you can't really get a shadowy pink. You can get a more intense pink, but it looks bright instead of dark. So I think we'll go with the purple. This will be a nice color, I think. Oh, and real quick, I wanted to make sure to get my sharpener out, because when I do the fur, I want to sharpen it really, really sharp so that I can get nice thin lines. Okay, so here we go. Finally putting pencil to paper here. I've got my reference image open over here. So I've got the one reference that's this pose. I'm also using it for the shadows and stuff too. Alright, so this purple comes all the way down. So the light's coming from this side. Oh, instantly better. Instantly more depth. Okay, then the inside of the mouth beyond the teeth needs a little extra. Oh, there's a little pet hair on the tip of this. There, got that off. I need some more water. Oh, let's see. I'm not really, I wonder why I'm so thirsty. I'm not really behind on my water for today yet. But maybe it's because I have another headache. The last 3 days I've gotten a headache and it's so annoying. But this time I'm like, forget it, I'm taking medicine. I try not to take medicine unless I really need it. I don't want to overdo it, but I couldn't take it anymore. Took the nice Excedrin migraine medicine. So hopefully that'll kick in soon. So maybe that's why I'm thirsty, to try to help digest that or something. Ah, this is so much fun. Okay, so just adding the purple colored pencil on top. Ah, it's so much better. I think that's actually good for the mouth. So the eyes, I think those are good. Let's do the nose next. Zooming in. Oh, yeah, Happy Ranger. Happy Ranger seeing Happy Ahri. Since Ahri is in shadow in the reference, there's actually not too much shading on the nose, so I'll just do a little bit. Let's use a lighter purple. I'll try to keep it subtle as well. Just like the reference. Oh, yep, and that's instantly looks better. I love adding the final details. Just a tiny little... Okay, come on, camera. You want to work with me? No? Okay, hold on, let me click the button. Yep, just a teeny tiny touch of a lighter purple there on the nose. And then it becomes less flat looking. Okay. So is that all the small details? I think so. Let's work on the coat. So I've got my sharpener. And I do want to add my favorite thing, which is purple into the shadows just all over. So these I added purple because it was the obvious shadow color for pink. But I love adding purple all over the whole thing. But let's finish these other sort of matching colors first. So I can't remember which gray. Even though these are different brands, so this is Prismacolor, my markers are Copic, but they're like cool gray, warm gray, actually match pretty well. So I can't remember exactly which grays I used. I think I didn't use fully cool or fully warm. Though this one has an interesting, it has French gray. So there's warm gray, cool gray, and French gray, which is kind of like a pottery, like looks like ceramics to me. Cool gray, warm gray. Let's do warm gray because Ahri is alive and warmth to me is a symbol of being alive, is a tangible symbol of being alive. Something is warm. So that's what's going to lead my choice here. But even this one is pretty well sharpened already, but it's not as sharp as I want it. I want it extra sharp. This is my favorite Ratchetta sharpener because you can just do this. You don't have to keep taking the pencil out and putting it in like this. You just do your hands back and forth and then it comes out like, yeah, all super sharp. Let's get this little bit of wood off of there though. This was like a dream come true when I found this. I had always wanted something that helps me not have to keep doing this. It felt so awkward to be sharpening like that and felt like it could go faster. Then I discovered that on jet pens. Of course, I ordered it immediately. This is what I've always wanted. Okay, let's zoom out a little bit of the reference. The area I most want to put these little detailed strokes is the main part of the body. That's where I'm really seeing a lot of mixing individual, I was going to say feathers. her fur is so feathery, but strands of fur just mixing light and dark all next to each other. So hopefully I can get that kind of effect by using a really sharp pencil. Ah, no! It's breaking! I'll try to use it as much as I can before it... Ah! That's something that always happens with colored pencils. No! There's this little bit of wood is holding it in. How the wood is sticking out up here. So I'm trying to hold it so that wood is on the top. This is just a constant. I've always had this issue with colored pencils. So the core can be broken inside even if the pencil itself isn't broken. So just try to make it work until it finally says, no more, I cannot, and falls out. Okay, I can't do too much of any one color because it will, eventually you won't be able to get those fine lines anymore because they'll just start blending with each other. So, alright, pencil, I'll take you out because I think I'm done with this one, at least for now. If I need it again, I'll sharpen it. So let's move on to a darker color. Sharpen this one up. Already just with that one color, I'm getting the sort of, I guess it's texture created by color that I want. This one doesn't seem to be falling out. Thank goodness. All right, I'm trying to make sure to look over at the reference image a lot for areas like this. So here on the back of the back leg, there is this mixing still happening, but on the front, it's mostly white fur, so I'm trying not to get carried away. I keep an eye on the reference as I'm adding. And I'm gonna look at, so there's a little bit of this fur combination happening down the legs too, but this front leg is actually pretty much entirely white fur, and so these lines are actually more shadow lines than fur color lines, but it's happening here on this leg until this little oh, what do you call it when the mitten, I think. I don't know if you call it that on a dog. On a cat, you call them mittens when it's, the paw is white, and then the same thing is happening. There's like a mitten on this back foot as well, with lots of mixing happening right above it. So I'm basically trying to get enough lines in here to look like that salt and pepper look, but not so many that it just blends all together and looks like a big gray mass. Oh, socks, there we go. Yes! Yeah, that's this one. The knee high is this one. That's right, yeah. For cats, they're called mittens. Or maybe they're called socks on cats. I guess it doesn't really matter. It doesn't matter to the dog or the cat. Here's the texture so far. I definitely want to take it further. I also want to add more dark strokes around the black patches of fur so that they'll blend in more finely with the rest of the fur in these areas. Thank you, camera. Alright, next dark one. There's only one more dark after this, but I do have a black colored pencil, and I think I might use that on the dark fur because I didn't use black except for the ink. And then that way the black colored pencil will show up even on these dark areas so that they don't look like, right now they look pretty flat, but there's one step darker we can go to get some more shading and texture. Who knows? Yep. Oh no! I just sharpened it, and then I was trying to wipe the little shavings off, so I grabbed it with my hand and it just came right out. Dang it. I'm gonna try to put it back in there. Yep, this just sort of comes with using colored pencils, has been my experience. Okay, we'll do it like with the 2 pencils ago. See if I can get some lines out of this before it just completely falls out. Ah! I have always dealt with this. This is just a thing that happens. I remember, for some reason, this is bringing back memories of, oh no, okay, this fell all the way out. Let's sharpen it back up. Bringing back memories of doing, so I did these kind of chibi commissions on the spot at anime conventions for many, many years. And so this is bringing back memories of that for some reason. What is this? Is that like a burp kind of salute to this broken pencil? Please stay in. Nope, it's still broken even on the well, we'll try it again though. So this one is also loose. I sharpened it back up to a really nice tip. It's just gonna carefully get this spare wood off and see. Come on, pencil. You can do it. Ah! Maybe not. to get the sharp tip, I have to hold it a different way. Ah! Alright, let's try it. We'll try it one more time. If this doesn't work, we're just going on to the next darker pencil. Oh, almost there. Just please don't. Nah, forget it. It broke off again. Blast it. Okay. All right, you. Look at that. I'm about to sharpen off this little. Oh, I'm not showing you it. Maybe camera will focus. I can't tell. Oh, I think you can see. It's a little like imprint here that says USA. Interesting. I've never really noticed that before. But it's about to get sharpened away. I'm gonna empty this first though. Alright. Nice and clear. Ooh, I am very happy with how this is shaping up though. This is the extra level of detail that I wanted to get onto the coat. Hopefully sharpening this will not expose cracks in the pencil. That's the reason why when I first learned how to use colored pencils, I don't remember where I saw it or who told me it or where the information came from in my brain, but somewhere, someone or something told me to not drop your colored pencils because it breaks the core. If you drop them, if they land, the core can break. It looks perfectly fine until you start sharpening it and it just breaks off and breaks off and breaks off. So, and it doesn't surprise me at all that these have like multiple fractures inside because I have in the past completely dropped these like this whole tin of however many, I think it's like 120 pencils in here, and just all over the floor. And that's why I use gaff tape now, gaff tape or gaffer's tape, because it's really strong but you can keep removing it and putting it back on, so it keeps it closed. I have a piece on the other side too so that it's like a hinge, and I do that for all of my art supplies that come in a thing like this, especially colored pencils, to guard against that kind of damage. I've also dropped all my markers once at a convention and the room went quiet. In the artist alley, totally quiet because it was such a huge sound. And then everyone was like, oh, that sucks, or whatever. Like, it was actually a funny moment. I was like, oh, my markers. It's all over the floor. All out of order. I put all my stuff in color order and stuff. Aw, Pikachu! Pikachu! So, I think this is good for the body. I had the image zoomed, the reference image zoomed in on the body and the legs. Now I'm going to work on the head and then I'll work on the tail. There's also some areas where I want to add more white, but I think I might add it not with colored pencil at this point because there's so much. I don't think a lighter colored pencil will make that much of a difference. I think I might use my bottled white ink here. But first, let's do some details on the face. So like right here is more of that salt and pepper look. This little patch here. and this side of the face as well. But yeah, I think this is the darkest I'll go on this side of the face because it looks pretty light still. I just want little, I got little tick marks to show the fur pattern and texture, but not making it too dark. Let's show the direction of the fur as well. And it goes out onto this side of the face. But this is also an area where I don't want to do too much. There's not very much room. If I add too much, it's just going to all blend together and look like a big gray patch instead. So let's see if I can sharpen this and not have the lead fall out. Oh, well, it's sharpened, but the wood is sticking out beyond the core. So just keep going. The heck, dude? Well, we'll just keep going. Sharpen until we can get something usable. I mean, worst case scenario, I sharpen it all the way down and have to get a new pencil, which will hopefully be not broken inside, but got this excellent sharp tip now. And it seems to not be broken. Yay! Oh, I got a bunch of little flecks on here though. Let me swipe these into the trash can. There, and that's better. Okay. Little bit more of this light color. I'm adding it on top of the dark here. Oh, it looks really good. Yay! This is what I was hoping. It looks really good. I might even add actual white colored pencil for these areas. I'll show you how it's looking so far. So, on top of this area and on top of the fur, the dark fur on the ear, that's just one application of this light. It's warm gray 30% is the color name. Oh, I was gonna move on to white, but let's finish with this color first, then we'll move on to the white. Okay, so adding more texture on top of the black fur with this pencil. And like here is actually a little bit not of change in the fur color, but I think reflected light coming from somewhere else. So it's actually slightly lighter here, and around here hitting the rim of the eye. And it's really subtle, so I'm just going to keep it this color, not white. And there's a similar thing happening here. Oh! Chappie barked and scared me. Chappie, don't bark! Someone came down the stairs again. Chappie barks. Startles me, because normally she's all quiet. This is another area where it seems to be more the lighting than the pigment. I'll show you the... Oh yay, autofocused. So this is that highlight, a subtle highlight, a few areas on this side of the face. And the tip of the ear seems to also be getting some light. I said this would be done pretty quick, but I'm finding all kinds of little details to add now that I'm actually working on it. Looking around for anywhere else that could use this colored pencil before I move on to some white, and then I think areas where I'll add some black too. And then I gotta do the tail. Okay, so maybe I'll use this darkest gray first. It's not really making too much of a difference, so I'm not going to do too much of it actually. But here where it's transitioning between black and white fur, I think this is a nice color because using the black colored pencil might be a little bit too much, because these colors will be blending in the viewer's eye just because the light coming off of it and showing you this is white, this is black, and that will just be blending as it enters your eye. There is a little tiny spot right here that looks like it's a little quite darker spot. Add that there. And some little strokes around the eye. More transition fur here. I've got to keep moving the pencil around and angling it so that I can keep getting the sharpest side so that I don't have to keep sharpening it and sharpening it. Oh yeah, here could use some more little small tick mark style hatching. I guess you could call it hatching. Teeny tiny details. Alright, let's get the black colored pencil and do the darkest areas. It definitely needs sharpened. If I was just filling in with black colored pencil, this would be fine, but I need that super sharp tip to get the nice thin fur-like lines. Ah, so happy this one is not broken. I can pull the extra pieces of like wood shavings off and not pull this core out. Okay, guess I'll start over here. So under here is definitely super dark because the ear is folding over, which is just casting a shadow. And then the edge of the ear here is pretty dark too. And this is great because it's helping give dimension to what was otherwise pretty flat looking because it was all dark fur. Oh, here, I'll show that. Yeah, so a little more dimension to it despite being so dark an area. Let's do a little bit here. And then the other ear. So under this ear we'll make darker. And then that helps the ears stand out in front of the head. I'm just looking for any area that seems somewhat darker than the surrounding areas. It's a little bit difficult to tell because it's just so dark, but I think that being able to exaggerate the areas of light and shadow really helps with the sort of naturalistic coloring on, not just on chibis, but on anything. Because if you can exaggerate it a little bit, then it helps bring it to life, because otherwise it's just color on a piece of paper. I think that's what's actually happening when I learned about like hyper-realistic art, where it's so detailed it looks more than real. And I think that's how they achieve that, how such artists achieve that, is by taking it to extremes, taking the detail to extremes, and it's like when you take the contrast on a photo and you up the contrast and it's more than what it is in real life. Now I'm adding texture onto the black patches on the body. And now I think I'm ready to go onto the tail. Where's my cursor? There it is. Alright, so let's start with the white fur first. We'll just add some texture lines and a little bit extra shadow using this lightest warm gray color. Maybe a little bit showing the transition between colors, but it's a pretty distinct change. Okay, and then we're just gonna go straight to the black. I already have some pretty good texture lines from the markers, but the colored pencils are much more fine tipped, so you can get really, really, really good. Really good fur texture. Yay! Okay. I think the only thing for colored pencils left is adding the lovely purple that I like to put on everything. Not everything, all the shadows. Put on all the shadows. Oh, Exie is here. Hello! How are you? I'm so glad you could make it. It's probably Saturday already where you are. So is your weekend off to a good start? His first hour or two into Saturday. I'm looking over the reference image one more time just to make sure there's nowhere that I really want to add some more. Maybe adding, I don't know. Thinking about adding some white here. I think I shall. White colored pencil rather than, I was going to use gel pen, but I was also going to use this white ink because I put so much colored pencil in the eyes and I want to be able to make a nice big highlight. I think it'll be easier to just use the ink with a little brush. But rather than using ink on the fur, I would like a softer texture. Alright, pencil, are you gonna break off? Haha, it's solid in there, yay! Not every single one of my pencils is broken inside. Some of them are healthy. Okay. Just smoothing out because there's so much texture on every other part of the body, and this, well, except for the forehead, which I think is fine because the fur is so short here that it actually is a more smooth texture, but this is fluffy, so I'd like to help it look like the rest with lots of little lines. So add the colored pencil to help it look the same as the rest. I don't want it to look like I neglected it. I also want to soften up the shading on this arm. Let's zoom out a bit. Get the whole body in the frame. Oh, okay. Thanks for letting me know. I will not bother you too much with questions. I know I ask a lot of questions sometimes, so But if you're busy, I'll just let you lurk. That is totally fine. I've been thinking recently that I don't acknowledge my awesome lurkers as much, but lurkers are always welcome. Okay, let's do the same thing here on the tail and add a little bit of highlight on the toes, even though I don't know how much it will show up. Okay, could be using my brush there, but I'm not remembering that it exists. Okay, anywhere else? Maybe a bit more on the ears, actually, now that I'm thinking about it. A bit more of this white. I have not actually put the white colored pencil on the ears. Just the light gray. Oh, yes, that's good. That is good. Let's do this side too. I may even put some of this ink on the ears. I'll see how thin of lines I can make though, because I think it would be better to preserve the texture. I don't want to put like some big fat glob of ink and like, what is that? It's supposed to be some fur. Ah! Okay. Yay! I'm looking. Okay. I'm going to put a little bit of a darker gray on this side of the nosy, just because there's a subtle difference between the highlight on this side and the highlight on this side. And actually, I'm going to use a little bit of white on this side to make the difference even greater. Maybe a little bit like this on the top. Okay. Purple time. Purple shadows. Purple shadows. So we don't need to sharpen this. It's sharp enough for this application, which is anywhere there's a decent amount of shadow, just put a little bit of purple on top. It makes it so lively. I love it. I love colorful. So even though it's not like realistic or natural that it's this purple in the shadows, it makes me so happy every time I add it. Like my, what is the happiness hormone? My serotonin levels rise. That's my, if that's the right one. Somebody can correct me if I've got the wrong. Tell me what the happiness hormones are. No, seriously though, as I add it, my eyes, like, if I was an anime character, my eyes would be getting sparkles, like, I love it. I think that it's so magical. Adding the time. I'm using a really light hand on these areas that are white first. Don't want to overdo it. Here under the ears, where this is in shadow. Here. Side of the face. Ah, yes. Okay. I remembered my brush this time. Brush any little extras off. So I'm not done yet, but this is, the colored pencils are done. So here's what it looks like with all those little detail marks for the fur texture and color and the purple added to anywhere with some decent amount of shadows. So let me put this away so I can get more room here. Is that in order? 935, 937, and then I think this one is next. 938, yep. And then oh, there were two more lighter warm grays. Oh well, it's because they are not together. They're broken up into different trays. Okay, this one goes, I think it's fine though. Wow, there's a really nice smell of sharpened wood pencils happening. I don't usually sharpen my pencils so much. I almost filled the pencil sharpener up twice. Alright, let's move this stuff out of the way. Actually, I guess I'll just put this away on the shelf. So I don't think I'll need the colored pencils again today. Oh, so much more room. Okay. I actually have prepared stuff for using this white ink, so I'll move these over here today. This can go over here. And I have a bowl of water and my favorite reused towels, and this is one of the smallest brushes I have. It's a 0. I think I have a 000 as well, but this is small enough, I think, for what I want to do. And I've got this Deleter White 1. I don't remember what the difference is. I think there's a white 1 and a white 2. But anyway, this is my white ink in a jar that I use. And I have this little stick because I don't use it that often and it separates. It also gets dry, so I might get a whole bunch of little bits coming off. Yep, it's actually pasty. I might need to add a little water to it. Man, this is why I wish I had my utility sink in here. I'm gonna have to step out for a minute. I don't know if you can see. Does not want to focus on here. Well, anyway, it's like a paste instead of an ink. Just like I was saying, I don't use it very often, so it dries out. So I'm gonna put my be right back sign up and mute my mic and just add a little bit of water to this. Be right back. Alright, that's not too bad. Well, like 30 seconds, I guess I was gone. Maybe longer. Maybe a minute. Ah! Okay, now I have to carefully... This is why I put the drawing way up here. I have to carefully mix this in. It's kind of like mixing tahini or classic style peanut butter, where it separates and you have to mix it before you can use it. Once I get this mixed in, we can do some really nice highlights, because this is not as difficult to use on top of colored pencils. If I remember correctly, it does still sort of bead up if you're using it on like a solid colored pencil, you know, like it's just all colored pencil and there's no paper that's not covered. It'll still bead up, but I think that it'll work nicely on this Chibi. Oh, Satuita's here too. Hello! How are you? Are you all done for today? Are all of the gardening tools sharp and ready for the growing that's probably already starting? The tree outside my window clearly has buds on it already. Oh, sharpening one more tool. Nice. Alright, this is still a bit pasty. And it's amusing because when I filled this up, I was like, oh man, that was close. I almost overfilled it. But now there's a bunch of room for more water, but I don't trust myself to add more at this point, so I don't want to overfill it, because then it will be like a mess to clean up, because ink will come out with it and I'll have to clean up all that. So I'm not going to do that. So we will just do our best with this pasty white ink. But the nice thing is, when it's pasty like this, it's going to be really opaque. Alright, so set my stick. No, it's going to fall all the way in. I won't set my stick. I'm going to rinse my stick and wipe it off. That's probably good. Aww, the little shadow kitty. It's been getting very friendly recently. I mean, it's always been somewhat friendly, but it's been coming up to me like, how can I explain it? A lot of the times it's just checking out our doorstep, and then I step outside and it's like, oh God, and runs away. But recently, I'm like coming up the drive after a run or checking the mail, and the kitty starts walking towards me. I'm like, oh, hello, kitty. Okay. Got the ink. Oh, I have a great idea. I can add more water on the fly if I treat it a little bit more like watercolor. Use my palette here. So I'll get the ink, put it in the palette, and then I can add more water on the brush, mixing it, and then I can get a little bit more. Yeah, that's more ink-like. We'll see if I can show you. White on white, I don't know, but that's much more ink-like, don't you think? I think so. It's not pasty. It's not peanut butter texture. Okay. Zooming in. It's the area that most needs white highlights is the face. Definitely on the eyes. I'm not actually seeing distinct white highlights on the nose, but I'm going to add them because that's part of the visual language I think that most of us are used to when we see an animal, is that their nose is wet. Or when we see a dog, at least. Ah, perfect. Ah, she's coming to life. There, so good. Ah, this ink is perfect. It's perfect. Yay! Let's add a matching one on the other side. I should do my best to remember more often that I have this ink available to me. I've had it forever too. It's not like it's a new acquisition that I'm not used to, but it's because I never brought, or I think this is why, I never brought ink like this, ink in jars and pots, to artistic license. Yep, that's definitely what I'm doing. I never brought it to anime conventions. Because I don't want to spill and I don't want to be responsible for that. So, or like ruin my work or ruin the floor and the hotel gets mad or whatever it is. So I think that's why I forget that I have this available. So I'm adding extra highlights that I'm not seeing. Once again, yes, artistic license, because I think that adding a little bit of extra stuff just looks more alive. I'm just making these highlights a little bigger. I like when the highlight crosses the border, the highlight on the eye crosses the border that's between the pupil and the iris. So I think that really helps show that, this is on top. I'll show you what I've done so far. Just the eyes. Nice big highlight on the same side that the light is coming from. And then a little extra highlight, sort of following the shape of the eye itself. And maybe Let's add a little bit more water in case it's dried out while I've been working on this other part. Maybe add, because it's a chibi, we'll take it a little bit farther with a little extra dot. It's hard not to go crazy though, but I've gotten pretty good at keeping myself under control. Just add a little extra, another one underneath the mane. Hee hee. So shiny. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna do the same thing. As I'm saying, I'm going to add bright white highlights to the nosy. I'm also going to add them to the tongue. And even though the pink gums here, I think they'd be just as moist as the tongue. I want the tongue to look like it's coming forward, so I'm just only going to put them on the tongue. And that will help the tongue look more separated from this pink next to it. Yeah, I think I'll do all the highlights with this ink because it's working really nicely on this size 0 brush and mixing it with water on the palette. When I don't see any particular highlights on a dog's nose, but I want to add them, I like to do it with little spots, little dots, because I find most dogs have a sort of leathery texture to their nose, and that I can show that a little bit by making the highlights with a dotted stroke, making them dotted. That's good enough. Put a little bit extra down there at the nostril and at that part where it's divided down the middle. And I think that's good. I don't want to do too much. Okay, and then the tonguey, another area where, even though I'm not seeing anything in particular that's super bright, for a healthy, happy puppy, we definitely want a nice wet tongue. So we'll add some highlights to show that she is all good. I'm moving the brush a lot more than it's actually hitting the page, and that's because I'm trying to do as thin a line as possible. So I'm trying to just barely touch, and so most of the time I'm not touching, and then sometimes I hit it and I'm like, okay, good, that's good. Oh, a little bit more. Oh, yes, this is perfect. Ah. I love adding these final details. A couple little dots here at the tip. And there is, I'll do a little line here on the lip right underneath the tongue too, because that's actually out as far as the tongue is. All right. Now, anywhere else, I was saying I did want to put a little bit on the ears, but do I want to do that now? Now that I've added all the highlights on the... So basically all the highlights right now, done with white ink, are on areas that are shiny because they're moist. The eyes, the nose, the mouth. So I'm going to take a minute to look at this, but I'm already thinking I won't add any ink highlights to the ears because keeping it so that only stuff that's wet is reflecting so much light feels like the right thing to do. It also brings attention to the face. The ears frame the face, but the face is more the eyes, nose, and mouth. I think I'm happy with how this is. Yeah, let's leave it like this. Yay! Oh, and it's perfect timing because it's break time. Let me sign this, and then we'll go on a little 5-minute break and start the next project. Oh, and I'll show it up close too. Yay! It's the only reason I had these pens out, so I knew I would be signing it. Alright, here's the close-up look at the Chibi Ahri, the fluffiest fluffy girl. Yay! There's all the detail on the tongue with the white ink. Yeah, I just gotta remember to get this white ink pot out for these Chibis from now on, because this works way better than the gel pens. Yep. All the purple, all the highlights. And there's taking up the full frame. Chibi Ahri complete! Yay! Oh, I'm so happy! I might digitize this on stream if I run out of time. I mean, if I run out of project to work on for my next project, but I don't think I will. So I'm just going to leave Chibi Ahri right here and put up my BRB sign. I'm going to take my 5-minute break. Oh, let's close this before I forget. It's already dry enough without me leaving it open. There. Okay. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Satoita. Yay. All right. Pausing my mic. Muting my mic. Pausing my mic. I'm muting my mic, and I'll be back in 5 minutes. Hey everyone, I'm back. I hope you all had a great break too. I'm turning. Oh well, thanks, Aoife. I don't know if you heard that, but Aoife had a little something to say just now. Anyway, it's time to move on to the next project that I wanted to work on today because I knew that I'd be able to finish this. I actually thought I'd finish it a lot sooner, but Chibi Ahri has lots of little details to her. So let's see. I will keep her over here, I think. Or no, I know. Once I reorganize my space. Be careful with this water. I don't want to accidentally spill it. I'll move her over to this side so that she's still visible since we finished her today. Alright, move all this stuff. I've got this rubber band so that I can keep my mixing stick with my white ink since I always need it every time. But if I start using it on Chibi Friday more often, then I actually won't need to mix it all the time, I think. Okay, I'll put this away for now. Alright, oh, a little piece of dry white ink. Actually, I'm gonna get my brush back out and brush these little, there's lots of white, dry white ink and colored pencil bits on here. I like to keep my workstation clean. Alright. Alright, Chibi Ahri can hang out in this corner. Perfect. I think that'll work. I think I move her just a tiny bit. Yeah. There. She's the star of the show today. Well, what I wanted to work on is an idea from Wolf. I actually really loved it the more I was thinking about it because it was already on my mind what to do for my subscriber badges here on Twitch because I realized, oh, that's another little thing that I can do. Use Chibi Friday time to create something to fill those little slots and just make it more interesting to be part of my channel. So the idea that Wolf had was tofu, and that got me thinking. I realized, oh, I could do all my favorite ingredients, all my favorite vegan ingredients, of course. And then it'll be so fun because we'll see the badges for everybody based on their subscription history, or it's based on how long you've been a subscriber. And then the chat will be like a recipe. And it'll be like, what recipe do we have today? It'll be tofu or peanut butter or coconut or whatever. I really love that idea, actually. I thought it was really fun. And I think it would kind of be different. Or at least, yeah, I don't know. I just really like the idea. So I'm going to do that. Eva had another message to share. I don't know how much you're hearing because sometimes I'm talking over it. So I'm just going to look up my favorite ingredients. We'll start with tofu. I love tofu. Tofu sucks up any flavor you want to put on it. You want to put a little barbecue sauce, or you want to put like curry on it, or soy sauce. My favorite is just fry it, and like pan fry it, and put a little soy sauce on it. It tastes so good. So yeah, tofu. So we'll do a little tofu, and then other ones I was thinking of was broccoli, chickpeas, peanut butter, all kinds of different ingredients that are like my fave. Ooh. And of course I want to make them cute little like chibi icons. I think I'm going to have to search. And the idea is to choose ingredients rather than like a full meal. Because like curry is one of my favorite things now. There's all kinds of curry. But that's like a full meal. But rice, that's a thing. That's like an ingredient that can go in with different stuff. Let's see. Tofu block. I'm just searching on Google image search as usual. Ah, I see. So, yeah, it's pretty simple to do a tofu block, too. I want, my preferred is firm tofu because it has a higher protein content. Although silken tofu is the best in dessert. Like, just put it in any dessert, makes it so, well, silky. It makes it silky, creamy, smooth. And then since it almost doesn't even have its own flavor. So you can put it with vanilla or chocolate, blend it up. Ah, I see. Oh yeah, extra firm. This is a nice image with multiple types. Firm, soft. This one says in between. Okay. Tofu's super easy. It's just a square. So we'll start with tofu. My idea for this is to draw bunches of the one ingredient, then choose which one I like and ink that one, and then move on to the next ingredient. So first, super simple. I just want to give enough room and make it a shape that I can put a little face on it, because I want them to be basically I want them to be chibi food. So how about this one has this little winky face. And it has a little animal style smile on it. So this is from the side. And I'm making it really round and bubbly, because that's cuter. So they're not just my favorite vegan ingredients. They're cute. Ah! It does suck. I'm sketching with the blue pencil, so it'll be really easy. As usual, I'm going to ink them with physical media and then color them with digital media. But that means this blue pencil is tough to be seen. But so that's on the side, but I think we could also do with one straight on from the front because the face is more obvious. In fact, I think I might like this better because it is going to be really small. Subscriber badge, like, 20 pixels tall. This might actually be better. In fact, I already like it better because here we have so much empty space and just a little face right here. But here the face will actually take up more area. This one I won't do winky eye. I'll do and I'll give it a gentle, I can still give it an animal mouth smile, but more subtle because tofu is a pretty subtle ingredient. It just absorbs all the flavors around it instead of standing out with its own special flavor. I love that. And then I'm seeing a lot of texture, especially in the firmer tofu. So let's add this little bit of like these holes, some kind of like Swiss cheese, but a lot smaller. Little holes. And let's do a few up top under the eyes, like anime style freckles. Oh my god, that is so cute. I think I'm just gonna ink this one. Ah! It's so light, I can't even see it. There, I think I focused. Yeah, let's just go with this one. Ah, thank you, camera. I love it when you autofocus. Okay, put this away. Get my ink and pens out. I'm trying to, but I can't grab them. There. Should have just left them out, I guess. I didn't think about it. So the outside, I definitely want to be nice and thick. So let's do the graphic one. This is my Sakura Pigma set. This is the graphic one. hopefully I will get enough of these done today that next week I can digitize and color. And then I'll have a bunch of subscriber badges ready. Yes. Okay, so this is the Sakura Pigma. This is the Micron set. 08. It's the largest in the Micron ones. I'm using this for the eyes and the mouth. If you're hearing a fan sound, for some reason my laptop's fan is turning on, even though I'm not using my laptop. I don't know why. But my laptop was giving me a bunch of trouble yesterday, so... Like I had a meeting yesterday with the Protego Foundation to see about volunteering with them. And my laptop would not start. Like, it was clearly loading, and it was loading forever, and it was not doing updates. Because a lot of the times with a Windows update, it will do that, and it'll just take forever to finally get the updates on there. Because my laptop is now 5 or 6 years old, and it was already a refurbished model to begin with. So I got it when I went back to university. So that was 2019. So yeah, 2024. And so it's been 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Now we're working on the 5th year. And yeah, I think it's just getting too old. So yeah, that's probably why it's making a fan sound. Even though it's closed. It should be in hibernation mode. Okay. Doing the eyes with hatching. Okay, I'm definitely going to have to clean up this eye. The inking ended up being a little wonky. But that's the wonderful thing about digitizing all your art. You can clean up anything. So now I'm going to go way down to the 01. That's the second to smallest size. So 1 millimeter. And I'm going to use this for these little hole details that are also sort of freckles here next to the face. Alright, that's probably good. And the great thing about this is I don't have to erase. I can just, almost dropped my pen. I can just scan it in and remove the blue sketch lines digitally. So now I'm softening the points here. And oops, it was still wet. I got it on this, the ink was still wet. I got it on the side of my hand. And then when I clean this up digitally, I'm going to soften up these points on the outside as well. Because I want it to look nice and cute and soft. Not just because it's tofu, but just because that soft things look cuter, in my opinion. Okay, next food. I'm just going to do them. At first I was like, oh, maybe I'll do them in order of my favorite or something. And then I saw how many subscriber badges you can eventually get, and you can just keep unlocking more. And like, I can't do them in order because it just keeps unlocking more and more. So I'm just going to do them in the order that I think of them. So the next one I think of is a chickpea. I love chickpeas, and I never really gave them a shot before I went vegan. I just didn't think about them, and now that I've actually tried them, they're so delicious, and they go so good in so many things and so many ways to cook them up. Like, oh look, this is one of the ways I like to make them. Roasted with seasonings on them. They're a yummy, crunchy snack. Of course, their most famous application is hummus, which is weird because I didn't like hummus before I went vegan, and then I tried it again afterwards, and I love it. And I'm like, what happened? My palate changed. I want a close-up image, a chickpea close-up. I had to search for chickpea close-up. Oh, here we go. Oh, they have a little hole, and that's probably where the plant would grow out. Because these are basically seeds. Wish there was like a macro. This is... Ask and you shall receive. It's even called macro shot chickpea image. That's exactly what I wanted. It's very dry looking though. Well, I don't have to draw it dry. I can make it smooth and round and cute. Okay. I'm a chickpea. Hungry. Me getting hungry too. I can't wait for dinner. We're having Daya mac and cheese, Daya deluxe mac and cheese with broccoli and juicy marbles plant-based steak. It's actually plant-based filet. It's very yummy. I am super looking forward to dinner. Okay, chickpea time. I'm gonna try to draw these all the same size. I think someone in a recipe book once said that they're so cute because they look like little butts. Kind of like peaches. Tiny peaches. They have this little horn on the top too, like an oni. Oh, this is great, actually. Where do I want the face to be though? On the side? Looking back with a wink. But I can't do it on the side because I learned from... I think that is kind of cute. But I learned from the ranger emote that I made where she's looking away just like this. Like 3/4 view but away. It's hard to see. Once it's very small, it's hard to see the face. So I think maybe I'll keep them all facing forward. That's probably for the best. Oh, yeah. Well, there's still time before the real growth starts. Haha, I've learned that too. I have been learning that, and I feel like this year is the first year where I've learned enough that I can just go ahead and live it. Yeah, gotta take it easy. Gotta take breaks. Don't do any one thing for too long. And that's why my back is like basically permanently damaged because of the job I had to sit for 12 hours, and if you were on break and something happened, then everybody would be like, where were you? And I'm like, I work alone for 12 hours with 2 10-minute breaks and 1 30-minute lunch break. But no, it was like, you had better be there. Anyway, yeah, I'm so glad that I don't have to do that anymore. And I can take breaks as often as I need to. I do think I want to give this one a... Or should I give them all the same kind of face? It's hard to decide. Give them all a similar kind of face so that as people move up in the subscriber history, I guess. I don't know how to explain that. As their subscription length gets longer and longer and they get the new badge and the new badge, have the same face in the different food. Kind of like that idea, actually. Aw, that's so cute. Cute chickpea. Trying to find an image from another angle. All these images are dry ones and they're so wrinkly. I always get them canned so they don't look like this. They always look smooth and wet. Oh, this is more what it looks like to me. Ah, cooked one. Maybe that's why, 'cause it's cooked. That's okay. I'll allow that one. I said it just a minute ago. We are a PG, not a G channel here. PG, not G. So it's okay to say but. Oh man, that sucks. Was that recently, like the other day, or is that just like a story? That's got to be recently, because you've been moving stuff into the spare room or something, right? It's funny, if that is recent, my shoulder has been bugging me all day too. Ever since last night, actually, I was like, oh, I hope a good night's sleep will make it feel better, but nope, I woke up and my shoulder was still bugging me, and it's not like I did anything weird with my shoulder yesterday. I didn't even work out yesterday. Maybe that's why. Getting stiff. But I did work out today. I did stretching on my break. Well, even more reason for you to take a break from cleaning and sharpening the tools. Yeah, I like this. We're going to stick with this. And I like the cooked chickpea that's nice and smooth. That's what I imagine, not the wrinkly, dry chickpea. So let's ink this one. Same thing, we're going to do graphic 1 and do the outline with the really thick line. Move it. Then I can do it this way and make them connect. Boom. Yes. Now go to the 08. Actually, I kind of want to write this down so that when I come back next week, if I make more of these, or in the future when I make more, outside line, graphic 1, and face lines, micron 8, 08 technically. Yeah, I've been experiencing a similar thing that despite having lots of ideas, that kind of thing, I have to keep stopping even though I'm like full of ideas for my Griffia novel because I'm right at the end and I just want to keep writing, but I have to stop because I have to move on to the next thing on my schedule. But it is good to stop, and I often tell myself if it's a good enough idea, I'll remember later. And if I don't remember later, then I'll probably think of a better idea because I'll have time to percolate. So the details are in the Micron 01. And that's nice. Now I have this reminder and I have this sort of formula that I'm going to use so that I can make my subscriber badges. Uniform? I think that's the right way to describe what I'm trying to do. Trying to make them uniform. And a cute little animal mouth. Meep. Maybe even if people don't know what they are when they have the badge, then they could just ask and I will say, you are a tofu. You're a tofu, you're a chickpea. Okay, thing that comes next to mind that I love, broccoli. So basically I'm building a curry. Broccoli floret is what I really want. Let's see. I want one with a pretty big stem so I can put the face on the stem and then the top sort of leafy part is so close, but somebody's holding it, so I can't see them. The top leafy part is like hair. Okay, I think I found a good one. But I'm going to keep scrolling just a little bit to see. Oh, that's a good one. So you can have a little leaf coming off too. Oh, here's a cute one. It's got leaves on it. Okay, so I'm just going to use this as an example, but I'm going to draw it my own way. Okay, get my blue colored pencil out. Okay, so we want this sort of round shape on top. We'll have it be three. One big one, two little ones off the side. And they come down these nice curving branches down into a trunk. Really does look like a little mini tree. Round at the bottom because it's been cut off from the whole plant. Then I love, some of these have little leaf, and I'm going to put a little leaf off to the side. Okay, good, and now, so we've got these little stems coming out. I don't want to make it too detailed because it's going to get really small to be a badge. And then, these little circles to indicate the broccoli top texture. Like a canopy of leaves. a few extra to show that this texture is all over, but I'm not actually going to draw every single little broccoli leaf bump. There, that's probably good. Okay, the little face will go here. I feel like maybe the reason I want to make them like this, I feel like I'm making little Kirby characters. The face is so tiny on this one. Pretty happy with this. I'm just bringing these edges down to make the crown bigger. I think that's good. I'm not even going to draw a second one. Now that I've figured out, okay, let's just do them all facing forward, all with the same style face. It's almost like they're little ingredient soldiers lined up, ready to join the recipe. Oh, I just got my Wii Fit goal again on stream, just like yesterday. Or was it the day before? I still use the Wii Fit U. Happily, they still sell the Fit meters, because every, I don't know, 4 or 5 years, something happens and I need to buy a new one because it just died or I washed it by accident or something. Oops. Knocking the Chibi Ahri around. No. There. But I've got to turn the sketchbook. Yeah, a little cleanup will be needed right there. Digital cleanup. I was more sketchy with these broccoli leaf bumps. But now I'm using the ink. I'm going to try to make them more uniform and consistently drawn. Consistent size, spacing, etc. I wonder if I should make a peanut butter, or if I should make a peanut. But I actually, just like with tofu, I use peanut butter more than I use peanuts. So I use tofu more than I use soybeans, but I do use both. Face lines I wrote, but I'm also going to use the 08, not just for the face lines, because there's actually bigger details than on here. With this tofu, I had just these little texture dots to make. Aoife's getting up, so if you're hearing that, that's what that is. Here I need, oh, it's in height. Here I need a slightly bigger line, I think, to continue with these little round broccoli leaves. It's actually quite fun and relaxing to be making these. Because unlike the emotes are like making an illustration in that I'm trying to convey a specific emotion, so it needs a little bit more thought put into the composition. But here, I'm just making ingredients look cute. So it's really nice to do something that's kind of easy. especially on Friday. Friday is my least energy day because I've been working all week, I've been working out all week, and just dealing with other stuff that life has to throw at me. So it's really nice to do something relaxing, simple on Friday. It's actually why I made it Chibi Friday. I knew it would be even regular chibis where there's lots of detail and such, but it's still way easier than my main illustration work. Oh yeah, look, I haven't even done this part and it looks like a broccoli. Okay. Now adding the lines for the little stems. And this line for the leaf to show that the leaf is growing out. Almost looks like the broccoli is holding a hand up to its face. Cute little mouth. And the eyes. I really think it's going to be fun to see every time what kind of recipe are we going to make today in the chat with everybody's badge mixing together. Just one spot where I wanted a small micron 01. Just a little line in between the two halves of the leaf here. So we'll get super tiny when it's shrunk down to badge size. Let me show you a close-up of everybody so far. Here's the tofu. Tofu, extra firm tofu, my fave. This is a chickpea. Chickpea. And broccoli floret. Yummy. Alright, what's my next fave? Guess peanut butter. Keep talking about it. What should I do for peanut butter? Should I do jar or should I do like a lovely little swirl or something? Though a swirl can look like something else. Peanut butter. Let's just see what Google image search has to suggest. Oh yeah, maybe if I do something more like this. Maybe I can just do the jar, maybe. And have a face on the jar. With a little swirl of peanut butter coming out of the top, maybe. Oh, I want some peanut butter. This looks so yummy. Look at the peanut butter cookies. They're just so good. Peanut butter bars. This looks so delicious. Alright. Yeah, I think that doing a jar. Let's try that. I might have to go on the next page if I don't like my peanut butter jar here, but opening, and let's see, it comes out a little bit. Actually, I really like this jar in this image on the side here because it's kind of squat and fat, which looks cute. And we've got to make them square. All these have to fit in a square either way. So just like with the tofu, I'm going to exaggerate the roundness of the jar. It's leaning a little bit to the side. Let's bring this out and this in. Okay, I've got to erase. I don't usually need to erase when using this pencil, but now I've got so much going on I can't visualize which part I want to keep and which part I don't want to keep. So make it easier for myself when I'm inking by erasing away stuff I don't want. I'm trying to make it look like it's straight up and down instead of leaning to the side. Oh, nice one, Aoife. She's been like that ever since she had to get a tooth removed. No, actually it ended up being 2 teeth because one of her teeth was cracked, and then when they went in there to take it out, they saw that the one next to it was actually cracked so bad that they couldn't tell until it was cracked, or not cracked, chipped. And the other one was chipped down to the gum line, basically, I think, is what they said. So she's on pain medication. She's always been a gassy girl, but this is kind of extreme for her. It's the first time she's announced herself on my stream, after all. All right. I think I'm liking this. I think I'm getting warmed up now that so I tried different angles, but I like this just face forward. So here's my cute peanut butter jar. Let's do a little bit of indication of where a lid would spin on. But I don't need too many details here because it'll all disappear anyway when it gets all tiny. I was thinking of having some sticking out of the top, but with the sides this is... I guess I can try it, and then if I don't like it, I can erase it. So like a little swirl like this. Like someone just scooped a big glob out, and they're like, nom, 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 nom. A little frozen wave of peanut butter. I kind of like it, actually. Looks like a... Oh, you can't really see it very well, of course, because of the blue. It looks kind of like a little hairstyle. Let's put the eyes really far apart. This has got a really wide jar body. And we'll put the mouth up in between. It looks like a little baby. Little baby peanut butter. So actually, I'm going to draw some lines around the outside to show the thickness of the jar. Well, around the outside, but it's the inside of the jar, but along the edges, to show the thickness of the glass. I'm thinking it's a glass jar. Of course, I'm not really seeing that in the reference images, but I'm just going to do it for the sake of this. this badge. All right. Well, how are we on time? 7 minutes left. So this side is a lot smoother transition from the part of the jar where the lid screws on to the sides. I'm going to redo this a little bit to match. That'll be good enough. I figure with these, worst case scenario, I can always make a new one if I really don't like it eventually. It's actually kind of nice with these being so small. Eventually, if there's some little inconsistency or something that I would normally try really hard to fix or whatever it might be, I can get away with more stuff because it just gets so small anyway. Oops, I hit my thing on the Chibi Ahri again. There. So just like with the broccoli, I'm going to use this not only for the face, but for all these slightly bigger details. Oh, but maybe the opening of the jar I will do large too. I'll just leave these out. I'm only using this 3 sizes, so just leave them out. I think that's good. I was going to do an extra line right here, but I think that's pretty good just like that. And maybe I have one on the bottom too. And I think once I add the color, then this will look even more like peanut butter. Because right now it just looks like a jar of something. I don't know if I've ever done something like this where I'm making a whole bunch of things that go together with a similar style. I mean, my chibis in general do that, but this is like a series or like a group that could like a bunch. Like these could be a bunch of stickers. They could be on a sticker sheet. Oh, thank you. Yay, I'm glad you think so. I think it'll be really, really fun to start seeing everybody's little badge, and we're making a recipe with every chat message is adding the ingredient to the recipe. I basically am turning this into a game for myself. let's see, how much time? Oh, we only have 2 minutes, so I guess we'll call it good there. Because I definitely don't have time in 2 minutes to finish finish another one. So we'll call it good with the first 4. Broccoli, peanut butter, chickpea, and tofu. I love the tofu. I get the little... So maybe this one is me, because it's got the freckles on it. And then, of course, for anyone who wasn't here during the first hour, we finished a Chibi Ahri. Yay! I got to scan her during my little follow-up window, but before I sign off, let's raid somebody. Hopefully somebody is streaming. Satwita, These could all go together and make a delicious curry. Or a stir fry. Peanut stir fry. Okay, let me go on here. Oh. Aoife sniffing at the door. She knows it's time to go. Hold on, girl. She just knocked at the door. I thought that maybe... Oh, there's a lot of people streaming my favorite game, Suikoden. I don't know these streamers, but this person is... So the only categories I have... Let me tell you the story. The only categories... I'll show you. The only categories I have faved is my favorite games, Suikoden. Number 1 fave is the first Suikoden. Absolute fave game ever. And I don't know these folks, but this person... So the person who created... or is the main creator, passed away recently of Suikoden, my favorite game of all time. This person is due a tribute run-through. I think that maybe we can just give him a shot. Oh, you're welcome, Exie. Oh. Well, today let's try this person and see what it's like. Though I make no guarantees. Your safety cannot be guaranteed, that old meme. But, actually, if you have some recommendations, I'd love to check out more channels off stream so that I can start building up a sort of library of people who sort of match my vibe, basically. But, yeah, let's give this person a shot. They're called G Squared Dad. Alright, I gotta get back to my own channel in order to do it. Okay. I wish you could... Maybe there is a way and I'm just not aware. But I wish you could just go to their channel and click a button and say raid. And then it just sends. But you gotta... As far as I know, you gotta do it from your own channel. So I'm gonna get in my own channel. And //raid G Squared Dad. G Squared Dad. Okay, again, I have no idea what type of streamer they are or anything, but they're streaming my favorite game, so that's 1 point in their favor. Let's try this! Raid has been created. Alright, while the countdown is going, I want to thank everybody for joining me today, for spending your time with me these past couple hours. I hope you have a great weekend, and I hope to see you again next week for more streaming starting on Wednesday. Yeah! Alright, it's time to go! Yes! Looks like it worked. So if anybody is still in my channel, once again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great weekend. That's all for me today.